Hey, my name is Andrew Ishak. I am the creator of a film series called Abouna. If you're Coptic or Orthodox Christian, maybe you've seen it. It's a film series that takes place in the Coptic Church at the intersection of culture and religion. And I hope you've enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it, you can go search Abouna on YouTube or search my name, Andrew Ishak, and you can watch it there. If you have seen it, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. It was so great to meet so many people across the United States over the last year at all the showings that we did. I mean, it was really like a once in a lifetime experience for me. So it was great to meet you all. It was also nice to have meetings with people online too, people that I connected with over social media, had lots of conversations with, whether on the phone or on Zoom. Like all of you, it's been a joy for me. So thank you so much. What I want to do today is I want to talk about some of the early scenes that we filmed in Abouna that we ended up not using, and I'm doing this for it's under the guise of helping anybody who wants to be creative, and maybe how it can be like a little bit of encouragement. If you're struggling with something in terms of your creativity, this might be helpful. But like many times when I talk with my students as a teacher, I'm actually really talking to myself. So I'm working on episode 2 right now. I have my writing playlist here, and I'm writing all the time, and I work on it, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. I think I got to redo this, and I constantly end up redoing the same thing, and I never really know if something's good enough to keep going. If it's like to keep it in and build on it. So that's a challenge. Sometimes you don't know whether to build on something or whether to scrap it and redo it or go in a different direction. And in October 2021, that's the dilemma that I dealt with. So we filmed some early scenes. There are some things I loved about them and then some things that I really didn't like. And I wasn't excited to continue the project given how it was going. And I knew that I had to do some things, mainly as rewriting. I had to rewrite some stuff because people acted well, and as you'll see, things were lit well, and it's all good, but there were problems with the storyline that I wanted to fix. So because of that, I want to show you some of the early scenes. You might be interested in watching them. I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but what I'll do is I'll show you parts and show you how we refilmed some stuff and the differences between the scenes, and you might be interested in that. So let's check it out.
You guys are always like, oh, Rachel this, Rachel that. Oh, Rachel goes to concerts. Oh, Rachel has been to Cabo. I can go to Cabo too.
What are you talking about?
You guys think she's so cool. You guys are always like, Rachel this, Rachel that. Look, look, look.
All right, this is the very first scene that we filmed for Abouna. It was October 10th, 2021. And it's a beautiful day, as you can see. Everything looks great too. Wow, I love the way this looks in our church courtyard. Everybody's lit really well. There I am with that thing, the clapper, to make sure that the sound is all right. And frankly, the scene sounded and looked great. Everybody acted really well. There were a couple issues with some wind noise and stuff like that, which is always a challenge filming outdoors. So, that bugged me a little bit, but not too much.
That they went to a wine bar. They had outside wine. Not church wine, outside wine. Look at this part. Look. Someone's coming up to her. She's going to be like, oh, my name's Rachel. She's so predictable.
I'll tell you why we ended up not using the scene later. And this is one of the challenges that we had. People change, right? People get new hairstyles and things like that. And so while we filmed this scene and it ended up being pretty good, because we filmed another scene that took place on this day in the film, but we filmed it 3 or 4 months later, people got different haircuts. Josh Misderi, who's Roxanne's sister right there. Josh had a big old beard. Roxanne had a different hairstyle, which is great. People should do that. But I just said, you know what? We're just going to refilm because we want to make sure we get these scenes. It doesn't look like too different. Funnily enough, Montnes Iskaros, who plays one of the characters here, ended up shaving his head. So there's a scene in which his head is totally shaven and one in which he's not.
To talk about something. It's about the youth. Abouna?
That's okay. But they did a great job. Josh is very funny. He's always game to do stuff, like be a goofball. So he was making us laugh.
You guys talking about how much cooler Rachel is than you? Or?
This has nothing to do with you.
Oh, okay.
That was really good. That was great.
Well, this Sunday is my birthday. We're doing this little beach thing, so let me know if you guys can come. This Sunday is my birthday.
Are we gonna have it at church for the 10th year in a row?
All right. Now, this scene we filmed a couple weeks later. It was on a Sunday in October that was actually like the rainiest October day ever in San Jose. It was like 4 inches of rain, which is, we don't get rain in the Bay Area in October. So it was interesting to have that. I remember that day pretty clearly. Now, this is a scene that was supposed to go very early on in the film. We ended up refilming it. It's a youth meeting scene. If you've seen Abouna, you've seen the actual scene we ended up using. They all did a wonderful job. Again, everybody in this did a great job. The problem is that amateur screenwriters like myself and amateur directors make mistakes. So here's a mistake I made as a screenwriter. As a screenwriter, I put in too many characters into this. Too many named characters who had to have their arc closed later, right? You can't have a character just, there's something going on with their story, and then later on, like, we don't close the loop. So this is Maria Khalil, who's awesome. She did a great job. She's an awesome artist. She's a great person. And her character, Monica, was kind of an intermediary between the other two young ladies who were, having some sort of issue. And while she did a great job, the challenge for me later was that to close her loop took too many scenes because she had relations with different characters. And so I had to rewrite to figure out how to have fewer characters, because that is what you get that advice a lot when you're doing screenwriting stuff. They say it's fewer characters, combine characters, things like that.
Dancing is bad.
Okay, it's good. You happier. Like, you're happy to be filling in Abouna. Like, you're like Abouna's, you're the teacher. You're good. You're the teacher's pet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Praying is bad.
So she did an awesome job. I feel so bad about it that we couldn't keep her character in it, but it just did not make sense given what I watched early on to have that third character in there. The other thing that screenwriters, or I should say directors who are amateurs, do is that they don't quite understand tone sometimes, and I didn't, and I hadn't directed something in a long time, and the stuff I had done before was maybe more goofy. And I was trying to go for like a lighthearted yet serious tone, and I think I just got serious. I don't think I got lighthearted. So I just had to redo the scene because I didn't quite get the tone right. Andrew Musa did a great job in this. This clip you might recognize in some way because we actually ended up using this clip in the final version. So this was filmed in October. We filmed the rest of the scene without him in like January or February, but I loved his line delivery so much, and it made sense that I actually ended up just throwing it in the final version.
Yes. Oh yeah. Sorry.
Here's Josh again being very funny to me, playing a meathead. And Josh, his character had this thing where he was like, he just was like hitting on every new young lady at church. That was supposed to be his character's, one of his things that he does. And Josh was down for it, so I'm happy about that.
Nice. I'm not gonna ask if she's single because you guys said I shouldn't ask that when a girl comes to church.
In any case, now he's married. He just got recently married, so this film's good luck.
So should I have my parents talk to her parents? What's going on here?
We ate like 55 plates of all-you-can-eat sushi, and then they were like, "You guys are eating too much. You can't come here anymore." So the thing with sushi is they use imitation crab, which is not real crab, but they have around the same protein content.
I don't know why I think this sushi line is funny, but I love sushi, so maybe I just wanted to talk about sushi. Anyway, they did a great job, but we had to refilm it later because it made sense the way that people were appearing and the number of characters and things like that. I actually love the way this looks because I like having the people in the background. I like having all those kind of filling in the space. We don't have a lot of that in Abouna because we weren't filming with like 20, 30 people. And so some of the scenes look a little bit sparse, in my opinion, which I do not like. But it's really all we could do given who was available.
Setup we had to do, and like adding one more person would be a little tough. So.
The early version here was that Youstina's having a party and does not want to invite Raquel.
We still have like food.
I don't know. I really don't understand it. Rachel, by the way. I said Raquel. That's Raquel, my niece on the left side. Her real name's Raquel. She's playing a character called Rachel, which makes things easy.
I have things to do anyway.
The great thing about sushi, by the way, is that it's also carbohydrates with protein.
Again, Maria did a great job. my biggest regret from filming all this stuff is that I we didn't get a way to include her in a different way. But yeah, she did a really good job.
You keep
Everybody looks great. I use shallow depth of field a lot. I use this Rokinon lens that I love. I'll talk more about that later because there's something here about shallow depth of field which comes up in a later scene.
Oh, no worries. I have a lot of work to do anyway.
A little
Why do you talk so fast?
No, I have a lot of work to do. I got a lot of work to do. Just try taking the word.
Sweating now.
Yeah, you're great.
Okay. No worries. I've got a lot of work to do.
Hey, can I stay here? Sure. Bad text? Yeah, it's just the parents. Ah, the parentals, the rents, the units. You know, the old mom and dad. Dadorino. Just kidding, I don't call my dad that.
I love them. It's just they're always in my business.
Yeah. My parents actually track my phone and put those tiles in my bags. Yeah.
Oh my.
Hey. Can I sit next to you?
Sure.
Is everything okay?
Just personal stuff. It's just my parents. I have a boyfriend who's not Coptic, and they don't want me to date.
Oh my gosh, same for me.
So here's a scene that we end up refilming later in the like the kids, like they call it like the cry room. Again, having directed it this first time and trying to do a little too much, like trying to be in charge of sound and lighting and all this stuff, the sound wasn't quite like I wanted it to be, and that's my fault. And then I didn't quite direct it like I wanted to. So they did a great job. It just wasn't where I wanted it to be. And then of course, again, after 3 or 4 months, people had gotten different hairstyles and things, and so we wanted to make sure that it was somewhat consistent.
No, but I panicked. No, the old mom and dad. Dadorino. Just kidding, I don't call my dad that.
So
I love them. It's
this
just
scene made it
they're
into the
always
final version, but a different version of this scene made it into the final version. But again, because there were too many characters, there were too many scenes in Act 3. Actually, even in the final, even in what I produced, I think there were too many scenes in Act 3, but in the original script, there were way too many scenes. So I have to cut this scene. This is a scene in which the character of Maria's playing, named Monica, is making amends with her friend, Youstina. And there were just too many scenes in a row that felt the same. Regarding shallow depth of field here, I'm going to talk to Maria about this. Only you are in focus. Literally, this is in focus, but nothing behind you, nothing in front of you. So if you do move forward and backward, I lose you in focus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so just don't move too far forward or too far backward. Okay. So I love the way this looked. I think it looks great. The challenge was that as I was trying to direct and hold the camera and light and all this stuff, the problem was people were falling in and out of focus. And so we had to stop using this lens as much that really gave us this beautiful shot and maybe use something that was a little bit more forgiving as we filmed.
Yeah, I love how we do sleepovers together at your house. I love how your parents always tell me a new Bible story when I stay for dinner. Did you know I actually started fasting again because of you? Yeah.
I get it, Abouna, new priests, new ideas. It's the same thing, we have new people coming into the church. We're not really the best at welcoming them, so... Is that right? Abouna, I've seen it with my own eyes.
Abouna, it's because you're a new priest and a lot of people get scared of change. Like, especially when new people come in, it's like they're not welcoming at all.
Is that right?
Yeah, Abouna, I've seen it with my own eyes, but... I get it, Abouna, new priests...
Another scene here where you can see the echo of it later. We, again, ended up refilming it simply because of, of changes to the script and changes to, over time.
Okay, fine. We're up to the pizza thing. What if we gave every kid in the church a bullhorn, okay? They don't like what's going on in church. They go, Abouna! Really loudly. I go, okay, let's stop the whole liturgy. We'll start over. Anytime.
You're good for me, okay? You make me a better person.
So you're just using me then? Never mind. I'm okay with that.
So if you've watched anything else I've made besides Abouna, you might know that I like things that are ridiculous. I like things that are goofy, and my sense of humor is particular in that way. And I would say that Abouna is less so. Abouna is much more tame. So usually when I film stuff, we have a lot of bloopers because of the fact that like the lines just don't make any sense or they're just so off the wall, or I'm trying to do that at least. Abouna is much tamer, I think. So we didn't have a lot of scenes in which people couldn't get through lines, but it did happen from time to time. There is a storyline here that Youstina is worried that this new person coming to church is going to change her friend group in such a way that they're going to want to hang out with the new person and not with Youstina anymore because Youstina is very sheltered and has to stay home and all this stuff. So the joke here is that Rachel is going to she goes to a lot of concerts. She likes to save the whales because she's going to be doing this marine biology program. And so she talked a lot about concerts and whales. So,
Monica, didn't she have like a concert to go to? Or better yet, go save the whales? Or go see some whale concert or something like that? I don't know.
I don't really know what this joke means, but I will say that the funny thing is I'm writing episode 2 right now, and one of the songs I listen to on repeat, like really early on in my writing process, like when I start my night, when I start my early hour of writing, is a song called Whales, and it's by a band called Flip Turn, who's from Florida, where Roxanne now lives. So there's your poetic connection.
Oh, I don't know. Dang it, Andrew, this is so bad. We need to get... No, I could do this. I could do this. No, I could do this, bro. I'm sorry. I could do this.
Why can't Rachel come?
It wasn't me this time. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, man. Ooh, freaking whale concert. I don't know.
Yeah, if you could just like cut it off right there.
You know what doesn't help? What? Mark just texted me that he just finished scuba diving.